Hello, my friends. Welcome back in. It's the end of year 3. What's going on with our managers? That's what I want to know. But before we hop into that, I want to give a shout out to someone in particular from the community. Let me pull this up. Eduardo Valente has created this awesome spreadsheet. I'm gonna get my browser actually pulled up here. Tracking it. You can't see this down here, but it's got all the players, managers, and he's tracking what club they're at, what league they're in, what their current league position was when I did the episode. Obviously, with this is Pekka Wickman. He's in the middle of the season, so it's 12th with an asterisk. It's got everything that we could want in terms of tracking changes in the save. Unbelievable support, Eduardo. You are a legend of the community. He's done this the past couple times we've had experiments, and it's super helpful for me because I'm sitting here thinking about I got to record and I'm throwing stuff in a spreadsheet, but it's not very organized versus this is super organized. This means Eduardo is watching the video, hitting pause, and notating all the changes. That's unbelievable. So things that kind of jumped out to me here. He went from an attacking coaching style before he really started with Hissing Baka to general, so that's kind of interesting. None of the other stuff changed here, but his reputation went up to 1 star at the end of, I guess, year 1. At the end of year 2, he's down to a half star, which is kind of curious. Is it because he went, down in club? I don't know. Nothing really changed. I mean, again, there were changes from before he started the actual job until the end of the first year where, he's starting to actually get some changes in his attributes. But from there, nothing else really changed. Nothing changed year to year. So that's interesting. So I just want to give a shout out to him. I'm not going to pull this up every single time, but I am going to use it to go okay, is there something interesting we need to talk about? Obviously with Pekka, his contract was up at the end of November, and we are now in July of the save of 2021. So is he still with Skofton Bins or not? So let's go find out. Pekka is still with Skofton Bins, who, again, he said is right down the street from him, which is awesome. So he got an extension. He's still on 625. He's still a half-star National A. He's not working on a Continental C, which I would have liked to have seen. But he must have done something right if they kept him, right? Right? Let's see. When the contract was offered in the last month before he, so nobody was coming in to poach him, apparently. And they went ahead and extended him. So we'll have to see, will he get extended again? Let's go take a look at what happened here. They finished in 12th, I think. And they're currently, in 13th on 5 points. That's not good. Oh, what? Either like results or goal differential. The only difference between being in the relegation playoffs and not. So that's kind of disappointing. But now we are way far back. I guess the good news is Hissing Baka went down. So maybe it wasn't. I mean, they went down by a point. Again, it could have just as easily been switched. 7, 6, and 13 with a negative 10 goal differential. And this season they are 1, 2, and 10 with a negative 19 goal differential. Did they lose a bunch of players? Is that what happened? No. Signed 3 players in January and March. They've not lost anybody. That's interesting. Maybe there's some free release players. Okay, so they've released some players. Oh, they've released a bunch of players, but it's kind of hard to tell. Okay. Okay, because they're youth. It doesn't say free next to it. It's what? Did they not exist anymore? So they've not lost a good chunk of players or anything like that. Pekka's at 20%. He's 8, 8, and 23. I'm thinking it's not looking good. It's going to have to take a pretty dramatic turnaround. They've won 1 league game all season. Oh my. Even if you're not winning, if you get some draws, some of these though, right? 2-1, 1-0, 2-1. If you could turn that to get a draw, you'd be doing a little bit better. But I mean, he's got essentially a half a season left. Last season, finished strong. Maybe the strong finish last year is what saved him, right? Like obviously getting whatever 7 points in the last 4 games or 10 points in the last 5 games get you that 1 point above the automatic relegation spot. Ooh, it's not looking good though. I don't think it's looking good. So we'll have to see what happens with Pekka. All right, next up, we're going to look at Mateus Mendez. As we saw, Nautico going very well, was in second place when we last saw him. Got an extension, got a raise to 2.6K all the way through 2022. So it wasn't a 1-year extension. It was a 2-year, up to 2.5 star. Likes to play a 4-2-3-1 DM wide. You know, things are looking good from an attribute standpoint. Let's go see how he's doing. Still with Nautico, up to 3.3K. So another raise, but not an extension. Oh, I bet it's a promotion clause. Okay, because we would have seen that already last episode. So did they get... Wait, were they already promoted? Whoa, hello. Got promoted again. 4th place? 4th place, my friends. Currently in 19th place. Okay, this is going to be trying times, but let's go. Okay, let's go down, click stages, go back to last season. Up through the playoffs, 60 points, 2 points above 5th place, so barely nick their way into the playoffs. A good 13 points to 16 points behind the other teams in the 2nd division. But matters not, my friends, because now they are up in the top league of Brazil. Which is obviously tough sledding. Like you've got like really good teams there. Look at this. Is this the playoffs thing again? I'm not sure. I'm not even going to attempt to understand that. But 1, 4, and 7. I mean, you would kind of expect that, right? Like you get promoted pretty quickly in not successive seasons, but you know, with a little bit of a gap. That's tough sledding, right? Negative 14 goal differential. You can argue though, right? Like they are 1 win. Like if you know, either of these teams lost their next game and they won, they would hop up quite nicely. So they got some games in hand here for these 2 teams, but you're saying there's a chance. It does make you a little nervous. Like they have extended him. Like they've given him the relegation wage drops. His wages would go down 25%, which is like 750 or 800 euro or whatever. 825. If I'm doing my math right on 3,300. So he'd still be making more than he was making last season when they got promoted. So that would be good. But I mean, obviously, when you get promoted, he's at 51%. They once again, 3 years running, are that thing champions. 113, 52, and 56. That's a pretty good record, right? You double your draw tally. Actually a little bit better than double your draw tally, and you double your games lost with wins. That's pretty good. So 3 league wins, 2 promotions. Again, it's counting you guys explained in the comments and in the nice email I got that, you know, like it is kind of confusing because they've got this thing and then like the actual league. So that's a thing. And that's why it's counting it as another league title, even though it's not technically a promotion. But still, I mean that, look at that run. That's a lot of green dots. Now, obviously, 1st division, they did win a game against BAH. So that's, you know, all right. And they've kind of done, unfortunately, what Pekka has. They've gotten some draws instead of just outright losses and no wins, right? So again, I'm not saying it's amazing, but you know, they're in the hunt. There's not like a 15-point gap to the safe spots, right, in the league table. So that'll be interesting. Let's take a look at their okay. They spent 1.2 million and sold 145K. Nice. We will take a look. I just want to look at last season. Or no. That was last season. This season they spent 1.4 million and not sold anybody for profit or for revenue. A free and a loan. 600K and 375 rising to 450. Let's just look at Eduardo Henrique. Yeah. Is he 1st division level? I mean, it looks decent. I'd take him at Cabatili. You know, he'd be all right. He's played at the first division, you know, for a while. Okay. So, and Oswaldo Henriquez looks okay-ish. Again, first of it. Now, he's not played a ton. I guess I didn't look at that on Eduardo here. Yeah. I mean, okay, so is the appearances the league? Yeah, because there's a different number of league games and then the actual, like, the other competitions. So is this kind of like the other team's cast-offs, right? But they've brought play, like, the board has been willing to spend money, right? 675K, 1.2 million, 1.4 million, and they've sold a whopping, like, 190K total. They've been willing to spend money, so will that put Mateus at risk if they go down? We will find out next time. All right, let's take a look at Jakob here. His contract was coming up, so we'll have to see if he got extended. He was studying for Continental A. That's really all that that's all that's jumping out. Well, what happened with Van Loos? Got an extension. Same wages, not great. Again, last month of the contract, I guess we'll extend you. You know, like nothing super early where they're like, man, we love you. You know, if they can avoid relegation, he gets a whopping 250 euros and a raise if they get promoted. Obviously, he would get relegated. He would lose his wages and he'd get sacked because I don't think that the next division is loaded here. Has his Continental A. Now, that's a positive sign. He's up to 1.5 stars. 1.5 stars reputation on 60 a week seems odd to me. Like, you'd think someone would be like, hey, you've got a good reputation and a Continental A. Let's go. Let's go. Now, let's see what happened with Van Loos. They obviously stayed up. Finished the exact same, 14th. So, okay, because I'm starting to remember how this works. So, let's go. That's preliminary. So they finished in 8th in the preliminary stage. 1 win, obviously negative 8 goal difference, so maybe a bigger gap than the points would show you from getting into that promotion stage. So they end up in the relegation stage, and they finish 2nd again behind Ring Goping by 9 points, which isn't great, but they're clear by 19 points. So, you know, it's kind of like, you know, like, is that just what Van Loos is? And at some point, is Jakob going to say, I got to get out of here? Because, right, like, maybe the UK, they're not spending any money. They probably don't have any money to spend. They're paying their manager 60 a week, you know? They're getting some players on freeze. It's weird. Again, like, why on Van Loos is there no total down here? I mean, even if it was 0, it would show 0 spent, right? Or is it because, like, they're semi-professional? We got other semi-professional clubs. That's just weird. Is that just a bug in Football Manager? What are your thoughts there? We'll look at his win percentage here. It's now 38%, 40, 23, and 40. I mean, it's not bad. You know, you're winning as many games as you're losing, and you're drawing the rest. But it's not enough to, like, move you forward, you know? Mate, you need to play some preseason. Or how long does the season? No, you need to play some preseason, son. Book some preseason. I mean, you did last time. What's the deal this time? Nothing on calendar right now. Or maybe it wasn't on calendar last time and they just booked it after the episode. That's still kind of strange. Good. I mean, okay, this is the relegation part. I was like, wow, good run at the end of the season, but you're playing the worst half of the league, right? Did get some wins, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4 wins in the first half, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 draws. So okay, but again, still 9 points away from being, hey, getting into that promotion stage. But it's pretty evident they're not even really good enough to do anything in that promotion stage. Like, they'd probably finish last, which is okay, but like, it's not like, oh, they just missed out on promotion, right? Like, it's not that close. Got knocked out of the Danish Cup by Skovshoved. Sorry, that's not how you say it. Yeah, that's and they get Ballerup Skovelund next. Let's see what happens. I know I said I was going to bring this up every time, but I think I am, just to kind of give us a reminder. So he moved to, this is Spaceman Extreme, moved to Piast. He's in the top league. We thought that might be a struggle. Up to 2.2K a week. Contract was up, so let's see what happens there. Up to 2-star, has a Continental Pro. Things looking good there. Let's see what happened. Okay, still with the club. Got extended. Oh, they gave him an extension in December. So this is one of the, that's what I think is interesting, is they didn't wait until, June. They said, hey, let's go ahead and offer you an extension. Not for more wages, which is kind of curious. 2 3/4 of a star is what that looks like on the Continental Pro. Okay, what happened with the club? Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Oh, I can't remember what they were slated to be. Oh, I didn't look at that for the other clubs now, did I? I'll go back and do that. I remember us being like, ooh, is that going to be tough? Jumping up to the next division. LKS Wooch went down, if that's how you say it. How did they finish 5th? 43 points. That is quite the accomplishment, Spaceman. Right? Like oh, okay. Interesting. The relegation spots only 8 points back. That's a fairly even distribution. I kind of like that. Where it's not like, 10 points and 100 points, right? Like 8 points is not that big of a difference, and they only had a +1 goal differential, so maybe they had some luck along the way. Oh boy, is this another one of those? Okay. Championship group, so they end up on 53 points. So is it the same thing where it splits? It looks to be. Played 30, and then the last 7. Is that what it is? Either way, finish. It doesn't matter. They finished 5th. That's impressive. That's impressive. This season, expected to finish 5th. Fairly confidently, like well away from the relegation spots, so positive. Okay, let's take a look at the transfers. All frees. Last season, okay, 3.9 million. The previous season, they spent 1.1 and they sold 4.1. This season, they bring in 3.9 million worth of players and sell 195. That, I'm not going to look at all of these because they're kind of all in the same vein, except for Zoran Arsenic, which is an amazing name. Croatian center back, maybe you know him, apparently quite a real player. 13 marking, 11 heading. I don't know the height because it's in centimeters or whatever. Looks a decent center back, yeah. Let's see how he did last season. You always want to see you bring in a player for 1.1 million, 708 on a center back for a non-managed player, right? Like the AI is managing it on 29 appearances. Solid, my friends, solid. Maybe that's what we'll do instead of looking at all their attributes because it's kind of meaningless. I think I know this guy from one of my saves, Kent Antonsen. 700K, 25 starts, a goal, an assist on a 668. Not as good. Not as good, to be honest with you. So that's interesting that they're reinvesting in the club. But 5th place is unbelievable. We're up to 48% win ratio, 26, 12, and 16. That's quite nice. That's quite nice. So this season is more like, can they stay in that top group, right? Not necessarily can they make a run, but I'm kind of curious what happens. He's already got his Continental Pro. Is this just where he settles in, or does he strive to do more? We'll find out. Let's go back and look at those other clubs. All right, here is Van Loos's league. They are they're expected to finish 9th. So in the championship group, the promotion group, whatever the group is called. Okay? 11-2 odds. It's, you can see that. Nautico expected to be dead last. 1,000-1 odds, or in the relegation spots, right? In the 16 through 20. Okay, or just out of the relegation spots. Dead last. After finishing... Wait, am I confused again? Oh, after getting promoted. Okay, That makes sense. And Pekka's club is expected to be dead last. So he's currently beating expectations. Locke is still without a club. Now, someone left a comment and said, when it said he left as the manager, right? Like it wasn't he got sacked. It could have been that they weren't going to offer him a contract and he decided to leave, right? Instead of going like month to month or whatever. I'm just surprised. He's got a Continental A. I'm just surprised. He was Hong Kong head coach of the year. One of the years. Likewise, Andrew Clooney has not been picked up by anybody. With a 1.25 star reputation, Continental A. Greg Baxter needs to get on the phone. Needs to start calling some people. Dude, get a coaching job somewhere. Anything. Let's go. This is just the sad part of the list. Chris is still with the Ottawa Royals. He's never going to leave. Nothing has changed, I don't think, from his... I think he was 66111 here. I don't think anything has changed with that. He's still on a National C. He's probably doomed. And again, I've had comments say, like, you should just, sack him, like, from the club and see if somebody else picks him up. One, I'm not going to do that because then people say, like, oh, you should do it with Locke or you should do it with Clooney or somebody else, right? If they get stuck. Not going to do that. And Chris want to be in Canada. It just kind of is what it is at this point. This is why we do experiments to like learn more about the game, right? So don't put anybody in Canada unless they're with an MLS club is what we've learned here. So, I mean, I'll still update you on Chris every episode, but this is kind of what I'm expecting to happen. All right. Last but not least, we got Derek Hansen, who got promoted to Serie B, got up to 4.6K, was good until 2022. So it'd be interesting to see if he signed a new contract, but he's up to 2.5 star pro license. Likes to play passing. Yeah. His man management actually went down. I think that's kind of hilarious. You get promoted. Maybe he was a task driver, like, but his tactical went up, technical went up, mental went up, fitness went up, defending went up, attacking, all of it, all of these things went up, except for working with youngsters. So let's see what happened with him. My friends, he's still there. It looks like the same contract, 4.6K. The original, no. Yes, original deal that we just saw. Okay, I'm not going to look at all the attributes. I'm sure some of those have changed. Is that 2.5 or 2.25? I can't tell. Let's see what happened. His contract has a relegation wage drop. So that would indicate on a 4.6K wage that they did not get relegated. They got promoted and finished 8th. Okay, right. Let's look at the win ratio. 43%, 57, 36, 37. You're winning more games than you're drawing or losing. Always a good way to go. Interesting. Let's see, did they spend lots of money? No, a bunch of frees. Okay, this is last season. Still free. Some loan players. They did, again, why is there no total down here? I don't understand what is happening. They did sell a player to the Kano Pillars of Nigeria for 37.5 grand. That's always, I think that's fascinating. Like, how is there a connection? You tell me. You may know, you probably do know better than I do, with like Italian teams and like teams in Nigeria or Africa or something like that. So they've not spent a dime on players, but they've managed to finish 8th. For this upcoming season, they're expected to finish 17th, which is not what you want to see, but it's outside the relegation spots. Just what it does. 8th place. 48 points. Now, granted, that's only 9 points clear of relegation. There's a gap between 8th, and down and the next tier, and really the next tier is 2 teams, and then there's an even bigger jump to the 5th place and above teams. But 13, 9, 16 with a -7 goal differential, and you finish somehow above the other teams with less goal differential. Must be like results, but not terrible. I mean, you finished 8th. You're expected to finish 17th. looks kind of inconsistent, right? Win, loss, draw, loss, win, win. You know, like, this is a good little 4-game run. This is not a little good 4-game run, so, like, kind of inconsistent. Made it to the playoff preliminary round and lost to Empoli, so 2-2. Do you get advantage for being the home team? Is that what the H is for? Oh, that is news to me. That's curious. So, okay. I didn't even realize there was a playoffs. What are you talking about? Apparently there's a playoff. Oh, that's hilarious. I don't know anything about the Italian leagues. But not terrible. You know, like, not terrible, I think, is probably an understatement. If you're expected to be towards the bottom and you finished 8th and you made it to the preliminary playoffs, I would imagine, I'm actually kind of surprised the board didn't, like, offer an extension. Right? Like, off you go, lads. Can he keep him up this season? That'll be clutch to see what happens there. All right, my friends, if there's something that I've missed, let me know in the comments and I'll go back and look. As you can see, Ryan Kendall Bancroft is... He's gone, my friends. He's gone. Unfortunate. You know, like you're with Wexford. Would it have been different if he was with some other Irish First Division team? Who knows? I'm a little afraid for Locke and Clooney. To be honest with you, I think they're next. But I think we got a fascinating episode coming up to see what happens with these teams. I'm a little worried about Pekka as well, but maybe he can move on to another. I wouldn't be worried if he moves on to another club, but will he? So Greg Baxter needs to start working the phones on some of these guys. All right, my friends, if you enjoyed this, hit the like button. Again, if there was something I didn't show you or forgot to show you, make sure you leave a comment. I'll go back and do it. Have a good one. We'll see you then.